Beginning of this year, 2026, the United States conducted a military operation to kidnap President of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro. In this video, we shall cover the key historical events and motives that have led to the United States abduction of President Maduro. 1811, Venezuela, a part of Gran Colombia, became one of the first territories to declare independence from the Spanish. In 1908, the president, Juan Vicente Gómez, and the elite in Venezuela began the Venezuelan oil industry. After creating the industry, the elite allowed foreign oil companies to take reins and develop and exploit the oil. In 1948, there was a coup led by Marcos Pérez Jiménez, who became a dictator. In 1958, Jiménez was overthrown in another coup, leading to a democratic state that was led by the elites of the country. This all led to Hugo Chávez. Hugo Chávez was the beginning of a lot of change in Venezuela and was the first bloc to fall for the events that took place at the beginning of this year. Chávez was part of the Venezuelan military, and during this time, he created sects of the military that were revolutionary in nature. He used these sects to lead multiple coups. The first one was in 1992, which was a failed coup. It quickly ended and Chávez turned himself in. The government had Chávez appear on television to have him calm tensions and to tell the other sects to back down. The intended effect was the complete opposite than what actually happened. He captivated the average man, and in his speech, he remarked that this coup was a failure, but only for now. Chávez was released in 1994. He went around Latin America, building support for himself and made his political views clear. He had a revolutionary rhetoric, and during the 1998 election, he had the backing of the leftist parties in Venezuela. Chávez won the election. He remained in power from 1999 until 2013 when he died. During his first presidential term, he spoke much of completely ripping up the old government and creating a new way for Venezuela. Early in his first presidency, there was low oil prices, which caused a huge economic depression in Venezuela. He made concessions politically and was much more moderate in his politics during this time. He in 2001 passed the hydrocarbons law, which sought for the state to have a greater control of Venezuela's oil. This changed the majority of agreements signed with foreign companies from being majority private to being 51% majority held by the state. This was a huge domino piece. And again, in 2012, he won his last election before dying, which led to Vice President Nicolás Maduro to be left in charge. Nearing the end of President Chávez's presidency, there was a major socio-economic crisis that was beginning to take place, with rapid hyperinflation, starvation, disease, crime, and massive immigration out of Venezuela. This crisis was caused by the Venezuelan economy being heavily tied to the oil prices, which at the time was lowering. Now, Venezuela has had many foreign investors trying to profit off their oil for many decades, more specifically investors from the United States. Venezuela would be a strategic market for the United States to capitalize on. It theoretically could become the world's largest producer of oil, which with the United States being at the helm of, would be very beneficial to the United States empire. Yet due to Chávez's hydrocarbon law that seized back control of the oil industry back to the state, alongside his and Maduro's refusal to cooperate with the United States, led to a standoff. The United States, through sanctions, attempted to facilitate change in Venezuela for its own benefit, while Venezuela remained stern in its sovereignty. This standstill came ahead when Trump and the oil executives of the United States had enough, and with overt military action conducted the abduction of the Venezuelan president. The United States has had a long history of using their promotion of democracy to conduct its imperial ambitions. It uses this tactic time and time again. It undermines the self-determination and sovereignty of multiple nations that do not comply with its goals. It goes in and overthrows governments, creates and exacerbates socioeconomic crises in multiple countries in hopes of forcing change. When all else fails, the veil slips and their goals and ambitions are as clear as day. To the United States, the suffering of the people of Venezuela and the right for their own self-determination is meaningless in the pursuit of capital and furthering their modern-day empire.